And we're back for another episode. In this episode we're going to be doing the patch 4.1 story in Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. And as always, hello from Mithrie. Sorry Lise, I just slapped you in the face. So we are here at Rhalgr's Reach at 14.9, and we need to talk to our friend Lise. So let's do it. The quest is called Arenvalds Adventure, where we will get the box emote. So Lise seems troubled.
Come to see how we're getting on?
Yeah, I guess.
We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The Reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. But don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me? I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure?
Zip.
After all, we were adventurers before we were scions, were we not? After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
No. Twist my arm, why don't you? It's what we do, I suppose. Raised eyebrow, gotta love it. And is it always the left eyebrow that gets raised in a sarcastic way? Okay. So, right then, let's go and find Master Leveleur. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetheryte and we'll be along shortly. See you there. Okay. So we have to go to there, like they said. Near to the Aetheryte. So I'm obviously doing this storyline really, really late. But as I say, better late than never. Might as well get it done. And we'll see what this story is like in 4.2 in like a month and a half. Okay, here's destination. Go. So, greetings, Mithrie. 'Twould seem that we are to accompany Arenvald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It will be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy, and Theodoric sat at the throne. A uniquely brutal despot by all accounts. That he was, the King of Ruin suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Araga's Reach being burned to the ground. In the latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne to be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it's said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty? You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others have surely gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems? Well, of course, we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. I suppose. Yeah. Cool. So that's complete. So you have learned the emote box. Okay. So let's see. Emotes. Box. That's bow. Box. Where is it? I don't know if I can see it on the list anywhere. So unless I have to just type in like /box. Here it is. Persistent. Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha, hoo-ha! Okay, sorry, I remember I'm recording an episode. Silly me. So, Alpha Node, the next quest is called The Darkness Below. You can almost see the wheels turning in Alpha Node's head. The news of Dome and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the Imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion. Which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arenvald, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't likely to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to ask around. Would that be another way of saying no? Well, yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied Archivist and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodoric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you'll be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arnevalds, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks, while Mithrie makes the rounds in the Alamigan quarter. Huh, and there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Guilebard's Gate. Cool. Bye. So I need to go to here. Thankfully I have unlocked flying in all the zones. I wonder if the bear can fly. It might be a stupid question, to be honest. The bear can fly? Are you kidding? Lol. Okay. I wonder if eventually we'll get a pig mount. You're gonna, like, make up the rest of that joke yourself. Okay, so where are we? To be honest, I hope the next expansion has got, like, dense woods. I miss greenery. I don't like the sort of barren land. And we had too much snow in Heavensward. So, like, tropical climate would probably be best. Oh, I got it teleported to the Alamegan Quarter. Damn it! Why am I so stupid? Whatever. Okay, so if you do this quest, remember, if you've done the story of Stormblood, you can just teleport here. So, in the palace, no, not me, lass. Surely you've heard stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the Divine Audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice to say, that I stayed as far away from the palace as possible. Interesting. Okay, next. Where are we going? This way? Where are ya? Where are ya? There you are. So, I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric, and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards, I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling scream echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So, we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's-bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe. Well, that's a good clue. Next. And here. So, you want to hear of an old maid's stories, do you? Well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say that he started seeing assassins in every shadow, and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. Okay. So let's now go talk to Arnold. Wherever Arnold is. Doing his Arnold stuff. There he is. So, yes, I am Arnold. What do you want with me? Huh. You would have me drudge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yeah, if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kingsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the core thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family. A magic would transform them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. Cool. So let's go talk to Arenvald again. We have to go that way. Let's go, let's go. There he is. Okie dokie dokie dokie. So, since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of the fantastic treasures and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist or the Imperial somehow overlooked it. What of you, Mithrie? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Turned into monsters, and what could he mean by the darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Alagiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of the cursed abominations. Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of the fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Mithrie? His fears seemed genuine. If he was afraid, that does not lend credence to the tale, though I am not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a matter I would clarify. Arenvalds, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? Want to be rich? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pureblood Garleans. My mother did not care for his taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Interesting. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize that I cannot be pleasant to recall. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear on our intentions. Well, Mithrie, are you content to surrender the treasure of Arnevalds' noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? I guess. So, then I should be glad to tell you my theory in the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it. Why not? Cool. Next. So, the next quest is called the Mad King's Trove. Alphanode seems eager to share his theory. So actually mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case of a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Seld. Okie dokie. Longest journey ever. Right. So I'm assuming we're gonna have to swim in this lake again. I guess we'll see. Okay, so we're almost there now. The plot thickens, as they say. We'll see what this is about. I feel like this is just filler story. So forgive me, it was not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wish to have the lock in sight while I explain things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines. And this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Skala, which rose and fell during the 5th Astral Era. From what we know from the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of the Loch Seld. So it is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe was not a reference to the prison, but to a palace still further below, the ruins of Skala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kingsmen were cast down there not simply out of the desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secret. Wait, you're saying that they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely. And since we know the core thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they do not. Mithrie, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for any underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arenvald and I will seek out an inscrolled portal within the palace. Okay, so let's go in then. Now, if you want to get around quicker, then it is a good idea to just mount up. So let's see, let's go down. Where are we going? Like I said, there has been a lot of underwater stuff in this expansion. There is. You discover a patch that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Cute. Let's do it. Alright. So you come to a worn stone door. Standing temporarily ajar, it would appear you have found an entrance into a subterranean ruins. So Mithrie is Alpha Node. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door concealed by an enchantment. Have you aught to report? And you believe it leads to the ruins? Excellent. Then I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Oh, come on you two, we might as well take it as a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed. Cool. So I've now unlocked the drowned city of Scholar. So anyway guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye guys.